Who is the big winner of the winter transfer portal window? There was over 2,600 players that entered the portal, and there's been a ton of action up to the December 28 deadline, and the winter transfer portal is now closed. Now, at least that's for teams not playing in bowl games or the college football playoff. They will have an extra 5 days when their regular season ends, so we're not exactly done yet, but we're here to talk winners. On3 portal expert Pete Nakos recently dropped his top 6, and that's what we're going to break down today. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed to the On3 Recruit channel, the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube. All right, let's get into it at number 6. We got the Oregon Ducks. And really, if I was to say one thing about the Ducks class, it's quality over quantity here, and I don't think the Ducks are done. But the Ducks have added some top talent available in this transfer portal, free agency, whatever you want to call it. They've done a great job of addressing needs. Let's see. Isaiah World from Nevada. He goes 6'8", 309 pounds. He's a left tackle. He did not allow a sack this season. Then you also got Dylan Thieneman from Purdue. He was the 2023 Big Ten Freshman of the Year and Freshman All-American. So he's bringing 210 tackles and 6 interceptions to Eugene. Then they also took a flyer on Bear Alexander. He's a high-ceiling prospect that's on to his third team, but he plays defensive line. He's made stops at Georgia and USC. He is productive, and we'll see if the Ducks can get the most out of him. Moving on to number 5, we got the Texas A&M Aggies. They are just loading up at wide receiver, but that's not it. Mike Elko's gearing up for a major second year, and we'll get to the wide receiver position in a minute, but big additions on that defensive front. TJ Searcy from UF, Samuel Mpimba from Georgia, Deion Haynes from Colorado. Another major addition in the secondary was cornerback Julian Humphrey from Georgia. But by far, the biggest infusion of talent came at the wide receiver position. Former 5-star Micah Hudson joins from Texas Tech. Then it was Mississippi State's Mario Carver. And on Sunday, NC State's Casey Concepcion committed to the Aggies. So you got Hudson, Craver, and Concepcion all in one offseason. A&M is doing a heck of a job revamping that offense. Good for Mike Elko heading into that second year. At number 4, we got the Auburn Tigers. Now, Auburn answered the biggest question that fans have been asking. Can we get a transfer QB? And Hugh Freeze delivered 2 of them. Former 5-star Jackson Arnold. Then it was Stanford's Ashton Daniels. He comes in the fold as well. Now, Arnold has that starting experience in the SEC, and now he'll play in that Hugh Freeze offense. So we'll see if they can get the most out of him. And Daniels is also a proven starter from his time at Stanford. So Auburn didn't stop there. They added 3 wide receivers, highlighted by the number 1 player in the On3 industry transfer portal rankings, Eric Singleton Jr. Remember, he was from Georgia Tech, and everybody in the country wanted him. So the Tigers loaded up this offseason, which means expectations will be quite high on the Plains in 2025, but Auburn fans are ready. Let's move on to Ole Miss. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, they wasted no time taking advantage of this cycle's transfer portal. The Rebels have kind of been known for revamping this roster year in and year out under Lane Kiffin from the portal. In this year's no different. Grabbing Caleb Odom, the jumbo wide receiver from Alabama, wide receiver Deshaun Stribling from Oklahoma State, and then Deuce Alexander highlighted this wide receiver class. Just a great addition to the passing game. But let's not sleep on tight end Luke Haas. He comes from Arkansas, arguably one of the most accomplished tight ends in the portal this cycle. And, the Rebels have also revamped its secondary. Quarterback Sage Ryan comes from LSU, safety Antonio Kite from Auburn. Then you got cornerback Jalen Braxton from Arkansas, a very solid class for Ole Miss on both sides of the ball. Moving to number 2, we got the LSU Tigers. Yeah, they missed on Bryce Underwood down the stretch, but LSU got to work in the portal. The D-line, that's where I'm looking. That'll be much improved. You got Patrick Payton coming from FSU, Jack Pyburn from UF, Sadir Mitchell, the big man in the middle from Texas, and Jamari Butler from Nebraska, all big pickups. And then with Garrett Nussmeier announcing his return, LSU added weapons at wide receiver. Berrien Brown from Kentucky was one of the most coveted wideouts in the class. Nick Anderson comes from Oklahoma. And they took a flyer on Destin Hill, who has kind of been slowly emerging at Florida State, but suffered a knee injury before last season. And, I think all this, LSU fans, tell me if I'm wrong, but does it take a little bit of the sting from losing Underwood down the stretch? You guys let me know. All right. At number 1, Texas Tech. What? Yes, I'm not lying. Texas Tech is Pete Nakos's number 1 class after a frustrating final month of the 2024 season. Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire and general manager James Blanchard, they revamped this entire roster. They got an aggressive plan together, and they hit the transfer portal hard. Texas Tech, yes, Texas Tech has added proven talent around its offense, but I think the trenches is where this class really shines. Edge Romello Height from Georgia Tech, defensive lineman Lee Hunter from UCF, another defensive lineman, Anthony Holmes from Houston. Then flipping over to the offensive side of the ball, a couple tackles, and Howard Sampson from UNC and Hunter Zambrano from Illinois State. The strategy and the dollars spent in this portal class look to be paying off in a big way, with the Red Raiders running away with the number 1 spot in the portal ranking. So these are Pete Nakos's top winners coming out of this winter cycle. So do you guys agree with Portal Pete? Is Texas Tech the team on top? Or do you think it's somebody else? Let me know. Comment section below.